Alright, hello everybody. This is the next episode of Is It Hard to 3D Model? And the answer is no, it is easy. The point of the series is to show that you can make just about anything with just the basic tools. Obviously, there's a million and one, ways to make the same thing. There's all these crazy tools, but I mostly stick to the basic tools, and you can make really anything with it. And yeah, today we're gonna make a coffee pot. This is one I've already made. As it's just a standard coffee pot. I looked up an image. Let's see if I can move this over. I'm just using this one on Amazon as a reference. And there's different kind, you can use whatever one. Like this one, there's like a segment. There's some that are smooth, like the one in my kitchen now is smooth, but we're gonna use this one. It's a bit more complicated. Um, yeah. Let me hide this. Hit Shift S to world to cursor origin. H to hide. We're gonna start with there we go. So it's mostly a cylinder with like a half don't do that. It's half cylinder on the back. But mostly it's a cylinder. So we're gonna start with cylinder. There we go. Add a cylinder and blender. You have this little tool here. And that's fine. You can do it. Nothing and gone. We're just gonna do it and gone. It's easiest. 32 is fine. That's the basic. That's perfectly fine for this. Close it. Hit tab. Scale it down a bit. Oh, up here, dude. So up here, hit space. Click on this. I have right click for select. Your might be left click. It's whatever you set it to at the beginning when you first open Blender. Uh, Make sure you hit end. Open your side menu. Z blah, 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 Z of 0. Three, I guess. Whatever. Set to whatever. You can always, as long as you get the proportions right, you can scale it up or down however you want. Hit. It's too big, too wide. So hit A to select everything. Scale Shift Z to scale on X and Y, but Z. I don't know, like right there. That should be good. Um, Scale it down. Control R, and mouse wheel to select the do this. We're gonna do like 2. Right click or left click, whatever you set it to. To unselect, keep snapping in the center. We're going Alt, click this. Looking at that reference. Look at that. Okay. So G to move, the Z to lock it onto Z. Move it about right there. So it's tapered. So it's scale S, Shift Z. Oh yeah, did I say scale was S? I hope I did. I'm gonna scale in just a bit, like it is in the reference. That should be good. Control R again. Click, drag down right there. Scale Shift Z. Well, you don't have to do Shift Z. You can just scale it. You don't need Shift Z. About right there, because what we're going to do is make the hot plate. First, we have to get to the hot plate, so we're not all the way in. Just G, Z to move down on Z. Now, what you could do is select Alt, Alt, select this outer ring, copy and paste the Z right here, and then paste it here. What I do, that's just like, not that it's any better, it's just what I like to do. Hit 1 or 3, however, to go to the side view. Hold Z, go to wireframe, scroll in, see. This is how I like to do it. I don't know. It's just what makes sense in my head, so that's what I do. Instead of copy and pasting and fighting with the stupid menu and all that. Now, can do actually. Back to wireframe, 1 or 3. Go to the face up on top. Select this, X, and delete faces. There we go. Now they're separated. Oh, select edges again at the top here. Select, E to extrude. Right click to cancel the move, but it's still extruded. So hit GZ. And if you don't get this, that means the extrude was canceled or whatever. So let me just extrude it again. Move it up. Hot plate doesn't go up that high. So maybe like right there? A little higher. So just eyeballing it. E again. Right click to cancel. Scale Shift Z for X and Y. This is the top of the hot plate on the rim. Usually too wide. Alright. Yeah, okay. The whole extrude process again. E, right click, or left click, whatever you set it to. GZ, down. Hold Z to get yours. Little menu there. GZ. I'm not going all the way down, because that's probably about like right here. That's fine, because it is a hot plate, so we're going to go like right there. And if you want to make it super precise, you can type in here like point or 0.065, make it perfect or whatever. But that's if you want to be super precise by a dot. But purpose of this, it doesn't have to be. E again, right click. Now we're going to merge the center. So we're going to M at center. Boom. Oh yeah, so at the top here, if it doesn't move correctly or scale correctly, there's a little transform pivot up here next to where it says global. Click it. Bounding box, 3D cursor. And this is how it scales and moves, in relationship to one of these. You do like median point, make sure it's on that, and then it should scale by the median point and merge by the median point. Alright, there's our hot plate. Oh. Yeah, we'll get to that in a second. So Alt, click. This is the coffee bucket. Right there, going off my reference. Always have a reference. Even if you think you know what something looks like, you don't. Always have a reference. And it does taper as well, so I'm going to scale, shift, hit S, shift, Z, to scale on X and Y. Taper, not a lot, just a little bit. And then it goes inward and tapers again, so thank you. Thank you. Hit E to extrude. Right click down just a little bit. Scale inward. There we go. Move it up and down if you want, because it's not a perfect angle, 90-degree angle. E to extrude again. Click. GZ. Like right there. S, Shift, Z to scale on X and Y. This one isn't tapered a lot. Back up G and Z. And if you like, while you're moving around trying to zoom in and it's like way over here and you can't get to where you need, on your numpad, hit the little period button or delete as the secondary. Is that really delete? Oh, okay. Well, hit the period and it zooms right to your selection. Super handy. Alright, I'm going to hit E again to extrude. We got this dangly bit. We're going to click to deselect. Scale inward. Not all the way in, because we have to make that little bobber thing. I don't know what it's called. You can think of like a fishing line bobber. So we're gonna scale next to maybe like that. Move it easy, move it down because it's not perfectly flat. 1 or 3 to see from the side. Looks like I'm gonna have to modify the height of this, but for now this is fine. It's gonna be a short pot. That's fine. Let's see, hit 1. Z to wireframe. Hold Z. Go up here, select vertice. Maybe GZ, move it down just a bit. Grab this. Grab all this. GZ up there. Again, if you want to be super precise and get all the numbers right, you have your menu over here where you can, set your median and all that. Global, local, if you want to be precise, but for the sake of this is fine. You can eyeball it. As long as we have our reference and we're doing it somewhat right, it'll be fine. So now, 1 second. Love coffee. Alright. And you hit tab to get out of edit mode. Tab to get back in. So, if you look at our reference, yeah, that should be fine. Right over here. Oh, you can. I still can't see it. Whee! There's a. Oh, my guy's in the way. Well, eventually I'm gonna get it right. It doesn't. It's not smooth back. It's indented. You can do a smooth. Like I said, on the coffee pot in my kitchen right now is smooth from front to back, so it's just like a one big cylinder. But this one's not this, so we're gonna have to create that, which is super easy. It's back without messing it up. Alright, I'm gonna have to cut that. Okay. Alright, so I had to cut that out when I realized I just showed some of my info. Let's see. So basically, coffee pot right there. You shouldn't be able to see any information there. As you can see, there's an indentation from the front to back. The cylinder here goes in and then back out, which is super easy to do, no problem. It's back. I have to remember to edit out what I need to edit out. So we're gonna hit back in Blender. Hit 1 to view the front. Just figure out what the front is. So we can turn around. Select face. Yeah, face is up here at the top. Maybe 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, that's right. 1, 2, 3, and 4. If you want to do another one, you can. Actually, yeah, let's do another one. 5. Yeah, that looks good. So I'll do the same up here. Make sure you get the center line. So 2, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That looks good. You to extrude. So right now it automatically put it on that line. If it doesn't, you just use the same thing before we hit Z or Shift Z, what have you, or Y, what have you. See, it goes out about. Oh, change my image. About right there. What we're gonna do, because that actually goes out. Actually, yeah. So hit G and Y, move it back this way. There we go. Because there's a lip. Scale on the X, so SX. Move it out. Not too much, just a little bit. Just a little bit. And then we're going to hit E again. Move it up about right there. Maybe, no, maybe a little bit more. No. Alright. Here we go. Okay. See, now we got the back, mostly, kind of. So what we're gonna have to do is get rid of these faces. Select a face, hold shift, select away. Now there's tools where you can select the entire thing. But I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't know all the crazy tools. I use the basics, and the basics will get you there. So select all that. Yes. Okay, so hit X, delete to bring up this menu, delete faces. Now it's empty. Should do the trick. Up here, select edges at the top. That, select that. Bottom and top, hit F, crossed. If you select all, like a whole, here, watch. So you select these four and then these four and hit F, it's gonna not do it correctly, as you can see. So we're not gonna do that. Select one at a time. Make sure you select the right one. It's very easy to select something in the background. Hard, hard, go. Now I don't like the way it gets flat right here because that's not what it's like in reference. So we're going to hold Alt, select this line here, hold Shift Alt, select that line there. Now we could cut it in half and mirror it, but that's a lot of unnecessary steps. So you can if you want, but I'm not going to do that. So what we're going to do is hit GY, move it back about there, scale X, so SX, maybe buff it out a little bit right there. Do the same, make sure you don't do that. Delete these, I guess, so it doesn't happen, but GY, move it back just a bit, scale X, SX, there, GY, that looks good. Kinda. It gets the job done. There we go. Tab back in. Forgot to do is delete those inside faces. Ew. They can do that now. Yeah. So, this button up here. Wireframe. Once you use Blender enough, you kind of start to, like your brain and eyeballs start to figure, they start recognizing where things are. Because when you're in this mode, you got polygons everywhere. At first, it can be really confusing. But once you figure it out, like you'll be like, oh, I know exactly where that is. That's right there. And that's right there. So, actually, no, I don't have to delete any of these. Okay, I did it right. So, Z back to solid. Hold Z, go to solid. That's right. I don't know why I was thinking it wasn't. So what we do have to do, so there's go back to edges up here. Line, edge, button, view. That. And once you get comfortable with the basics, I think it's more important to know the basics. You can start looking up all these crazy tools and just messing with the program yourself and be like, oh, okay, I can do this, I can do that, to make things easier yourself. What you're comfortable with, what makes don't do that. Shift Z, as always, as any program to undo. Ooh. We got that rounded piece. Now, there is an indentation. Back over. Oh, I see. All right. Uh, all right. So, silly me, I was bringing over Amazon and it shows info. I didn't know it showed info, so I'm just gonna download the image and pop it up for you to see. Uh, yeah, that's okay. But the image, so the image will be up, and you can see that there's an like in the center here. There's an indentation, so we're going to Control R, click, move it down, maybe about right there. Scale inward just a bit, not too much, just enough to create that nice curve. Look at that, perfect. Oh, it's beautiful. All right, so we're going to go back to this. So make sure I'm edges up here. This, E to extrude. Right click to get rid of that. G, Z, as always, move it down just a little bit. This little bobber thing. E again. We're going to scale Shift Z to scale in X and Y. Maybe a bit, yeah. E again. Just cancel that. G, Z, down. Scale. About right there. E again. Click. Scale. G, Z. I mean, really, we can just hit M center. Go to vertice up here at the top. One. I mean, you can make it super fancy and smooth, but really, unless you're really going to focus on this and your whatever project it is, there's really no need for it. Actually, we have 3 to go to the side. Z wireframe. Select this. Move it up. Oh, like right there. A to select DOS. Why is it not deselecting? There it goes. That was weird. Hit up here, faces, select all these. You don't need any of these. So yeah, I could look at this earlier. Whatever. All of it. X, delete faces. Here, select edges again. Select the lip, that lip, F. Engines don't really like n-gons, and n-gon is anything with more than 4 sides. Really, you want like triangles and squares. Um, I know Blender supports n-gons, but I know a lot of engines they don't like engines like video game engines like triangles. So so if you make like a square, obviously you do a square, it's gonna an engine's gonna cut it into 2 triangles. But just do squares and triangles. That's the bottom. If you get all turned around, hit 1 or 3. There you go. That's the bottom all cleaned up. Top, we're gonna do the same thing. So I have to go back to faces up here at the top. Oop, these. X to delete faces. So this, we gotta model the lid. Yeah, edges up here at the top. Alt, select the rim. E, let it dance. Right click. So we're gonna scale Shift Z. It's not gonna be perfect. We're gonna have to fix it a little bit. Uh, this outer edge on both sides and just hit like GY. Just kind of fix them. My headphones just turned off on me. Good thing I'm not listening to anything. Uh, then you can be like, if you want to be super precise with it, you can really go into vertice up here, click this, move this around. But I don't care to do that. Back to edges. Because again, no one's going to look at this. No one's going to really like sit here and with a microscope and look at it. So we're going to scale it. Shift S, Shift Z, scale it back in just enough, just so there's a little lift. E, right click, G, Z, move it up. Lid doesn't need to be that thick. However you want to do it, it's up to you. There we go. Now, yeah. So we're going to do the same thing. Make sure you got the right pieces. Off. It is easy to do where you act like if you hold and move the mouse just a bit, it'll move it. So you got to be so if you, and it's super sensitive too. Sometimes you'll like you go to click it and it'll move it. So just kind of pay attention to that. It's easy to do. And if you don't think you're moving your mouse, Blender will detect the tiniest movement and start moving your stuff. So keep that in mind. Something you gotta watch out for. Oh, actually, hold on. So a super handy tool. For you can use for a lot of things. So if I select this, Shift, select this, hit F as always, and then I select this, Shift, hit Control R. Oh, not Control R. Snap! I hit the wrong button. Ah, Shift R. Sorry. Shift R, it'll do the last thing you did. Which, I mean, it's easier just to hit F when you're doing this. But, like, if you're doing something else, like, if you maybe, yeah, you're scaling something, you want to scale again, as long as you didn't do any other tool, you can just do it again. Super handy. Alright, so now, I'm going to need that little handle, little handle that comes off the front. Hit one for the lid, that is. So I'm going to hit faces up here. Select these two. Period on the numpad to zoom in. So we're gonna do E. You could, yeah, that works. I was gonna make it go in a little bit, but that works. GUI doesn't need to be that big. Maybe SX the scale. No, yeah, just a little bit. Doesn't have to be crazy. There you go. Yeah, there we go. And we're gonna smooth it out later. That's more for cleanup, I think. So yeah, Shift S to make sure the cursor is at world origin. Make sure you're tabbed out of this, so you don't have it selected. A to select and deselect. Up at the top here, object. No, sorry, add mesh. We're going to add another cylinder for the coffee pot. The craft, carafe. Add cylinder. So down here, since we made it, because I want it to have the same stick shape as the hot plate, so we're going to keep it as 32. If you did 16, do 16. If you did 64 for when you made the cylinder for the actual machine, make sure it's the same number here. I did 32, so I'm going to keep it as 32. Tab, edit mode, S to scale it down. Because if it's a different number, then it's not going to align correctly with the hot plate. GZ, move it up. So we're going to select 1. Oh, sorry, 3. See wireframe. As long as you didn't move this, you shouldn't have to move the copy. Like up and down is fine, but like left and right, back and forward. As long as you didn't move the copy pot when you made it, then you shouldn't have to move the. I'm sorry, the machine. You shouldn't have to move the pot. Scale shift. No, yeah, scale it. I don't know. It doesn't have. Right there. Go. See into that. Select it. Okay, make sure on edges. Select that. The wireframe. Move it up. Make sure it's on the hot plate. I'm just gonna do it this way. Zoom all the way in, move it all exactly on the line. Again, you can copy and paste the Z number. I don't care to do that, it's too much trouble. Grab this, Z. GZ, move it down. Here. Actually, now the thing about it, I might have moved that too high. We'll fix it, that's fine. Control R. Move this here. This is where it actually bends inward. Maybe like right there. Select this with the Alt and click. Scale, Shift Z. Oh, right there. That looks good. You do extrude up. See, it automatically snapped for me. Again, if it doesn't, just do click off of it, GZ, and it'll be as same as before. There, always be looking at your reference. There we go. Looks pretty good to me. Base could probably be higher, honestly, which is fine. Yeah, yeah. Okay. Okay, so we're going to Z to wireframe. Alt, click this. Now we're going to hit Control B to do a bevel. Move your mouse like this away from the center and it'll bevel it. You mouse wheel up and down to add more bevels. So I'm just going to do one line, one edge loop there in the center. Alright, about like right there. That'll work. Control R. Control R. Move it down. This is going to be that metal band. Probably about right there. Go. Do another Control R. Move it down. That should be good. Perfect. Now, what I want to do, okay, go up here to faces, up here at the top. Alt, select, click on right here, and it'll select the faces all around. No, I gotta check that in a second. We're going to dance it. E to extrude. Click to get rid of that move, but it's still extruded. S, shift, no, yeah. Shift Z, there we go. Move it in just a bit, so there's a lip. Scale, shift, so S, shift Z, so do that. Not a lot, just a little bit. It's not indented that much, just a little bit. Then E to extrude again. For me, it snapped. If it doesn't snap, just follow the same path a million times before. Oh yeah, okay. So Shift Z. Am I still extrude? I am. Okay, so I hit Shift Z because I messed that up. G. If you don't know if it's still extruded, just hit G and move it around. It's not. Or yeah, it's not extruded. So hit E again. Click. Scale. S. That is. Shift Z. Oh, maybe like right there. Okay, maybe move it again. So S, Shift, C, move it in a little bit. Now you got that metal band. Next, sip a cup of coffee. A sip of coffee. It's a requirement to have coffee. Oh, and now, alright, so we're going to look at the bottom of this pot. So select, hit tab, get out of it. Select that, just hit H to hide it. Don't worry, it's on the side over here. You can just little eyeball, click the eyeball, turn it on and off. Select this tab. We don't like endgons. So select faces up here at the top. Click this. X, delete faces, go back up here, select edges again. Alt, select this edge. E, and then, get rid of the dancing. M, a center. Now I'm going to go to vertice at the top. Select this vertice, hit 1 or 3. Well, actually, yeah, so most liquid holders are actually indented a little bit, but I don't think coffee pots are. We're just going to keep it flat. That works. Yes. So, then we're going to grab this edge up here. Delete that face. Select the edge again. E. Unselect the move. So with the click. Scale Shift Z. We're going to make the edge. Now, I'm going to make the inside of the pot. You don't have to. I mean, it's depending on what you're using it for, you don't have to, but just in case you're ever going to do it. I don't know. E again. It's not snapped, so just right or click to get rid of it. G, Z, move it down. 1, 3, whatever you want to do it. C to wireframe. And we're going to make sure that's aligned. And you'll the more you model and stuff and figure tools out and all that, you'll kind of develop your own way of doing things. E to go to do this. Click to get rid of the move. G, Z. Make sure you're aligned. Z. Sounds like a rapper name. Scale Shift Z. Try to keep it. You can see where the inside of the glass, try to keep it even as much as you can. So E, get rid of the move. G, Z. We're just going straight to the bottom. Well, up to the curve, that is, not all the way to the bottom. Line this. Now, E again. Cancel the move, M at center. Now, again, most liquid holders, they're going to, like the, oops, see what I just did? Are actually indented. But again, I don't think coffee pots are. I think they're actually thicker, but there's no need for that much detail. Unless you really want to. You can always go to your coffee pot, look at it. Yeah, and if you like, and then, so yeah, figure out where the front, hit 1 to see the front, so you can figure out where's the back. And then you can take this, GY to create that little lip. But we're not going to do that just yet, because we're going to do something else. We're going to make the lid, that little flappy lid. So we're going to select this. Yes, we're going to select that. We're going to hit E to extrude, cancel the dance, S, Shift, Z, scale it outwards, probably about, I don't know, right there. And then we're going to go select faces up here at the top. Select all with Alt, select that outer ring. don't know what. P. That's what I always think it's J. It's not J, it's P. I don't know why I think J. Hit P. No. Yeah, hit P to separate by, so you can do by material, loose parts, we're going to do selection. Now this, oh, hit tab, select this, now it's a separate object. No. Yeah, it's a separate object. See? We're going to, I have to go back to edges up here at the top. Select this, S, Shift, Z to scale in, probably about, yeah, that'll work. Probably the outer one, E, cancel the dance, G, Z to move up. Go, E to extrude, cancel the dance, scale Shift Z inward, probably about like inward, not inward, inward, scale it inward, not inward. You know what I'm saying. That, maybe a bit more. Scale. Sideball it. E to extrude, cancel the dance. S, Shift Z, G, Z. Scale. Extrude it again with E, cancel the dance. E, that, scale it inward. Down, scale it again, cancel the dance. I'm just going to center. You can add another ring, just however you want to do it. If you want how detailed you want to get. Hit 1 so I know where the front is. Select faces up here at the top. And you. Yeah, so that should do. Just these two. E to extrude, it should snap. If it doesn't, do the same process before. We're going to do that for the little lid. There we go. Tab back to this now if you want, and see the wireframe. Actually, we're going to just hide that. Hide it. This is the back, so we're going to select vertices up here at the top again. We're going to make the little spout. Make sure you select the back side as well. GY to move in the Y. Oh, no, it would actually only be this. The top two, right? It would be only be the top two. There we go. That's too far. Good enough. Good enough. Now we gotta make the handle. Coffee pot. See, that looks pretty good, right? I think the base needs to go back up. So, actually, we're gonna select both of all three of these, all your objects. Hit Control J. So it's one object. Hit 3 to go to the side. Tab. Hold Z, go to wireframe. What we're gonna do, select this. Actually, select this whole line here. Hold Shift, select you. This. Deselect that with, it's just shifting. Yeah, Shift and Alt to deselect what's already selected. Select deselect. Oh, excuse me. Select that. Scroll in, hold Shift. We're going to select these. We're going to make sure you. What I like to do if I'm doing stuff is I hit G just to dance it to see if I have the right thing selected. It looks good, so I'm going to click to cancel. GZ. I'm going to let it overlap just a bit. There we go. Go back into that. Select everything. P by loose parts. Tab out if you have to. Select the machine. Tab 3 Z wireframe. I'm just going to select this. Move that up. because moves up and down. Maybe a little bit. There we go. Tab back out. Click on this. No, don't click on that. A to deselect all. Shift S, cursor to world origin, just in case that's not at world. I do it anyway, even if it is, just so there's, just so I know for sure it's not going to be off by like 0.1 or something. Take a sip of coffee, it's a requirement. Add, we're going to do a cube. Yeah, I think cube would be good. Cube. Mesh, a cube. Tab. Make sure you're in edit mode when you're scaling. Because it keeps everything centered. If not, it'll no longer be centered and it's going to be weird and wonky. So make sure you're in tab mode when you scale. Do that. Hit 3. Hit G to move. We're going to move you right there. C to wireframe. Select the top. Dragon. Yeah, I'm going to align you with that. Select A to select all of it. Hit G and the Y to move it. There we go. Now, yeah, you can have it overlap a little bit. You can line it right on the dot. Probably best to have it overlap just a tiny bit. That. Technically, I guess you could have just extracted it from the pot, but we're going to do it this way. Select these. Actually, no, select all of it. S for scale. Ooh, no, hit X. Scale in. Make sure it's we're actually going to go hit 7. Alright, so tab out of it. I'm going to select the machine. Hit H to hide. Go back to this. 7. Scale. Line it up with that. We're going to. Oh, why did it do that? Control R. Do that. You could mirror. So, yeah, I'm not going to mirror. I don't really need to. But since we are cutting in half anyway, you can just delete this half. Here, I'll show you. So, up here, hit faces. Select this face, this face, this face. All of them on this side. X, delete faces. Yeah, make sure this is selected. Over here on the side, hit the little wrench. Add a modifier. We're going to generate a mirror. Make sure clipping is turned on. If it's not like let's see, if it's something like that, obviously you don't want that. Just change the axis until you have it the way you want. Make sure clipping's on. Clipping, make sure if it's on the line, it'll merge. So like if it's like on here, on this, yeah. Tab to go edit mode. Select the space. G, Y to move on the Y. There. 3. Up, select this. Z, move it up. Right about there. That's fine. You can be as precise as you want. It's up to you. Select edges up here at the top. Select this. The other side. Oh, that's right. Duh, it's mirrored. G and Y. There we go. Just barely intersecting. Yeah. G, Y. Because it is angled. Remember, always have a reference. Follow your reference as much as you can. There is a lip. Hit Control R. Put that there. Select the outer. Move you up. This. Move you in. How do I want this? Y, move it there. Yeah, no, yeah. So that's going to move up. So go select faces, select you, E to wait, no, I did that wrong. Control Z. Make sure, okay. G to dance it, make sure the extrude is not there, because you don't want, like, hidden faces and stuff. There's a way to clean it up, but you can save yourself the trouble and headache. Do it. E to extrude. We're gonna GY. G. Um, yeah, so 3G. That might be too thick, actually. So select these outer faces. X. Come on. There. Well, no, actually, that is. Alright, that's fine. See. Now you can be as detailed as you want. I'm just gonna do that. That's fine. Make sure edges are selected. Select this edge. GY. Again, you can be as detailed. You can even add the little axis right here. I'm not gonna go that far. I just don't feel that it's required. Honestly. Maybe move this up, out. Now we gotta create the actual handle. Hit K to get a little knife tool. So I'm gonna select, make sure it's on the edge. Select this, that. No, yeah, do that, do that. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Hit. Now we're gonna fix it because that's ugly. So go to vertices up here. But it is mirrored. If it's not mirrored, then you kind of have to watch, do it on both sides. But if it is mirrored, then you can do that. It's 3 to make sure you're staying on the axis. Otherwise, it's gonna be all wonky. Looks good to me. Select faces up here at the top. Select, nope. Select these faces. X to delete. Edges up here at the top. Select this. Actually, no. Just hit Alt. Shift Alt if you need to. Select the whole thing. E. Cancel the dance. G on the X. And it's going to snap right to center. It's going to merge. Now, that's a little ugly. So fix it. K, the knife. We're going to select this vertex here, the corner. Move it in about right there. There. Well, actually, you would have to put it there. Enter. Do the same thing over here. Make sure you select that edge. There. There. Enter. Make sure you select these. Hit 3. See. Scale. Yeah, scale on the Y. G and the Z. Oh, G and the Z. It's going to be a bit tougher, but it's doable. So, actually, alright, so we're going to hit K. About right there, about right there. You can be precise as you want. Right there, enter. Okay, right there, right there, right there. Select this edge, hit 3. Scale on the X. Nope, scale on the Y. Scale on the Y. Select this. 3. G, Z. Actually, just hit G. You can just move it. See, look at that. Not the prettiest, but You can spend as much time on it as you want. I'm actually gonna hit Alt on no. Select the outer edge here. I could do a bevel. Really no. Yeah, guess I actually round this out. So select outer, scale it just a bit, just to create a rounded edge. There we go. Select this inner edge, scale it inward, so help just create that roundedness. I did mess this up. This is actually supposed to be indented. So we're going to select faces up here at the top. Select these, and these. E to extrude. Scale it in just a little bit. GZ. Select see here. Actually, I think this needs to be raised, actually. We grab all of these. You know what? I don't really like how. So I'm going to Control Z that. Don't be afraid to Control Z. Control Z can be your friend. So, select these edges. These edges as well. I think that's better. And you know what? These are so close. I'm just gonna select these M to merge at last. Think about it. Probably just merge these. Shift R to do last. I think that should work. Oh no. Uh-oh. I broke it. That's fine. You Control Z or just fix it like that. For me, that's fine. Honestly, that's as much detail as I'd like. You can go in and, again, add as much detail as you want. For sake of like a video game, you're just going to see this sitting on the side. I don't see the point in adding more detail. So we're going to turn this back on. And we're going to smooth it out. So select this, tab in, A to select everything. Do mesh. Oh, so since I see it right here, if ever, like, let's say you import this to like an engine or you get a render and it looks all funky, like go to normals, do recalculate outside, and it'll make sure that the outside is actually the outside and it'll render correctly. But we're going to go to shading, smooth faces to smooth it out. Now it does create weird shading issues. We're going to fix that. Actually, but for flat areas, actually, instead of doing that, hit 3. Do you see this? See? Oh well, I can fix it. It's fine. Z wireframe. Select all these. Z back. We're gonna go to mesh, shading, flat, because that's flat. Well, it's supposed to be flat. So all we have to do is select these. These appear. No, they are kind of crooked. So we're gonna select that. Scale, scale on the Z. We're gonna flatten it like that, and then do it once, and then hit Shift R, and hit it a bunch of times. It'll completely flatten it, and then type in 0 on the Z, and there you go. Now it's flat. these, we're going to do a similar thing. Like these, you can see it's all funky. Actually, snap, that's going to be a bit harder. So we're going to make sure you have edges selected at the top. We're going to, oops. Actually, no, we're going to 3, Z, wireframe, and we're just going to do this. There we go. I don't know how I did that, but stuff happens, you know. This time we're actually got this right here. Control C that Z. Do these. It'll let me. And click on the Z. Control V. There we go. And then you just select one of these bottom pieces. Control C. Do the same thing. This didn't happen to me when I made it the first time, but stuff happens, which is fine. Then we're going to select this whole ring here. Well, not the whole ring. So these, we're not going to select a trend. This piece here is like the transition piece. We're not going to do that. Wait a minute. Why did it do that? That's annoying. Okay, whatever. Control V. All right. So what happened is these aren't perfectly flat. So we're going to hit SZ, scale it, and hit Shift R a bunch of times, and then just Control V again. Do the same thing with the wireframe. Select that, Shift to Z, scale it, hit Shift R a million times. Oh, okay, go to vert. I have to select these vertices as well. No, it is. Why is it? Oh, okay. So make sure in vertice mode. Sorry. Shift R, scale. There. Uh, it's weird. Yeah. I don't know what happened here. Well, I'm just having the worst luck today. Geesh. Select these. Delete the faces. I really don't know what happened. Okay. There we go. That's all that happened. Select this. Move it up. Easy fix. Select that. Control C. To select the. Make sure you have the Z. Select all these again. These separate. They do look separated for some reason. Oh. Anyways, yeah. Control V. Do that. Boom. There we go. I don't know how. Don't know what I did. I did not have this trouble when I made that first one. But it is what it is. Stuff happens. So F F weird little period to do that. What on happened here? All right, so I honestly don't know what I did to cause this. So we're just gonna delete it. Do you see this? Do you see this? Okay, select that entire on Earth. Delete edges. edges. Thank you. Hit on the numpad to zoom in. Delete. No. Delete faces. There you go. I honestly don't know how that happened. Like, that just didn't make any sense. It happens, though. Stuff happens. Alright. E to extrude. Scale Shift Z. Line it up about right. Select vertice up here at the top. Select you, M, at last. Unless you selected it first. Select it. I'm going to hit period on the numpad to zoom in. Select that. M, at last. Go back to edges, up at the top. Select these. And maybe it's a good thing that it goes as smoothly as my practice run. Like, see stuff happen. All that. E to extrude again. GZ, we're gonna move it up. So what we're actually gonna do is we're gonna select this. Like just any of these actually. Click on Z, Control Z, escape to cancel the select. Select this entire ring with Alt click. Control V. There we go. Now we just have to. Nope. Select one of these, move it. Select the other one at last. Here to zoom. Move it. Select that one. M at last. There we go. Now, make sure I have edges selected. And then just do what we did before. And now we have to hit Control R. Yeah, well, you can, well, yeah, might as well just go and connect these here. Then, at the center point, we have to connect these, which are not centered. Ah, I see. So we're going to select not that whole line. We're going to select these lines. And just type in 0 and X. Boom. And then maybe also 0. Okay, we're going to get vertice mode. Select this vertice here. Oh, you're... Okay. Ay, ay, ay. Okay. Scale on the X. Make sure it's 0. There. Now we gotta merge these vertices, so make sure vertice is selected. Move 1. M at last. Then actually what we can do, because the top is usually curved a little bit, select all these. GC just a little bit. Not a lot, just a little bit. Or you can keep it flat. That's however you want to do it. Actually, we can select these two. M at center. We don't need the extra polygon. Now we gotta get rid of this weird shading. So what I usually, I'm sure there's more complicated ways to do it. This is how I do it. So we're going to make sure edit mode. And it's usually around edges and stuff where it gets weird. So we're going to Control R, get an edge group, click it, so we can move it. Don't move it all the way up so it vanishes. Move it up, move it just enough so you get rid of that weird shading. That's what I do anyway. Maybe some in the comments be like, no, you do it this way. That's just how I do it. And do the same one here, even though the shading is pretty much fine. Oh. No, I was gonna do a bevel, but that would be weird because it's not a full. It connects over here, so it'd be weird. And maybe it's like this. Bevel it. I do it that way too. But I don't like to do that unless there's a centerpiece. That center line. I'd like to do it this way. That way I have a clear cut difference between this piece and this piece. It makes texturing and viewing a lot easier when you have a clear cut and you know exactly where what is what. So that's why I like to do the edge loop and not the bevel. But you could always, use your mouse wheel to add in that centerpiece. It's up to you. So, like, for example, we can do this here, but that's too many polys. I ain't doing all that. Pretty good. And then you can add like the little switch. You can use like a tiny little cylinder or a squish. No, maybe not a squish sphere. Use a cube. Um. Oh yeah. So select the handle. Before you start merging stuff, make sure you get rid of your mirror. So we're gonna hit little down arrow and hit apply. Otherwise, it's gonna mess with your model. If you join a non-mirrored with a mirrored object, it's gonna be all weird. We're gonna do tab, select all, mesh, shading, smooth. That's ugly. Uh, okay, so we're not gonna do that. Faces, we're gonna make sure the rounded it faces are smooth. Nope. Mesh, smooth faces. That's a bit better. See? If it's flat, just keep it flat. There we go. Much better. We'll select the pot. Select all. Mesh, shading. Smooth faces. Again, you got that weirdness. Actually, no, we're gonna not put it there. That doesn't look right. What we are gonna do is put it down here. There we go. Here. Same thing as before. Shading, smooth correction. Select this flat face here. Oh, no, never mind. Alright, that should be good. And then if you want, you can go in, do that if you want. What your project is for. There you go. I think that's pretty good. See how it compares to. Well, okay, we'll go ahead and merge them. Select all, hit Control J. We're going to turn on this one. G on the X. You see I rotated it, but there, oh wow, that one's much bigger. That is a lot bigger. But I think it's pretty proportional. Oh, that one's I kept flat. But yeah, it's that easy. Just works. But yeah, there's it's super easy to 3D model. Sometimes stuff happens, as you saw. It's Usually pretty easy to fix. Use a Control Z a few times, maybe just delete some faces where you lay them down. What you gotta do, but it's easy, as you can see. With this one, I made it fit the little handle thing a bit more curved. I have a little gap there. You go as far as you want to go. But that's that. Well, thanks for watching. Have a good day. God bless.